nerve.
I agree.
Oh! You startled me. I didn't know you were there. But since you are here, do you mind if I share? It's time for my yearly Christmassy sermon, and I hope this is quite convicting. Of that I am certain. I thought you might like a new style of instruction. Do I have your attention for my sold-out introduction? I really love the holiday season, and the fact that I do is not without reason. Beginning with Thanksgiving and Christmas throughout, till Happy New Year is cried with a roar and a shout. There's a reason for the season at this time of year, and hopefully my lesson will make it all clear. The message is Christ, as the CAICC so shared, that Jesus came here to show us he cared. But suppose one asked how you spent your last 20 days. Is this how it went, if you were to appraise? It started with donuts, parades on TV, with eyes barely open and loads of coffee. You watched the bands play and the cheerleaders dance. You even saw a 90-foot SpongeBob SquarePants. Cat in the Hat and Nemo and Barney and nonstop babbling from Katie and Matt, though throwing the pigskin outside. Let me guess, the guys made it in to see the Rockettes? Well, the cooking started a bit too early, with attitudes testy and cranky and surly. Then the late risers groggily drugged down the hall in time to plop down for some Thanksgiving football. While watching the Bills take on the Cowboys, Mom camped by the stove trying to maintain her poise, trying to keep away fingers that tried to steal essential pieces of her holiday meal. Then the dinner bell rang. Then the blessing was said. Then we scarfed it all down until we wished we were dead. I guess if I walked out there making the rounds, the majority of you gained about 5 to 10 pounds of that Thanksgiving feast where we gobbled our pies, our dressings, potatoes and big turkey thighs, mac and cheese, stuffing, green bean casseroles, and 3 kinds of freshly baked golden brown rolls. We ate and we ate till no more could be found. We ate every morsel that wasn't laid down. Then we watched more football, yelling and hooting, barely able to gulp down that one last Fig Newton. Suddenly, the men rose and cleaned off the table. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. This is my holiday fable. After all that eating and conscience ignoring, it wasn't 5 minutes before someone was snoring. And look at that turkey that's left, my word. Guess we didn't need that 30-pound bird. Yes, we got quite bored with plain turkey that day, and soon we were trying some turkey flambe, turkey pot pies, and turkey a la mode. But the turkey enchiladas had us running for the, well. But once it was over and all the guests had departed, we had to admit that the holidays had started. And it may not seem right, but it's surely a fact. Thanksgiving serves as an opening act for a much bigger day, one we all hold so dear, a day that sadly loses more meaning each year. In spite of technology and all its inventions, Christmas revelers pine for new Christmas sensations. Then worshiping Christ and his coming to earth, they find reasons for joy besides Christ's birth. This outlook had altered their ways pinch by pinch. Christmas hijacked by a sinister Grinch. But the Grinch isn't fiction. Oh, he's so very real. He's living and active, and he's trying to steal the truth about Christmas and all you hold dear. But this isn't the first time. He does so each year. It's not something he tried to do once in the past. It's an ongoing plot, and he wants it to last. So don't focus your minds on a Grinch green and hairy. He's after your soul. He's ruthless. He's scary. So open your minds and make it your business to know just how the Grinch steals Christmas.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Every you down in Uville likes Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lives all throughout Uville does not. Oh, the Grinch, he hates Christmas the whole Christmas season. Do you want to know why? I know the reason. Some guess his head's not screwed on quite right, while others suppose that his shoes are too tight. But the greatest preposterous myth of them all is that the Grinch has a heart that's 2 sizes too small. But the Grinch has a heart. He's a monster. He's vicious. His distaste for Christmas is far from delicious. Venom and hatred at the core of his being fuel the Grinch's attempts to keep mankind from seeing the true love of God with his grace and his favor, how his Son from above came to us as our Savior. The Grinch frowns and he fumes, which is not at all new. He steams, boils, and simmers, and he hates all the yous. Did you hear what I say? The Grinch hates all of you. Don't be so shocked. The Grinch knows the danger when we give our hearts to the Lord of the manger. So he growled and he cursed, fingers nervously drumming. I must stop Christmas from coming. His depraved mind thought with its faulty hard wiring, and he thought with all his brain neurons firing. At last, no idea came to stop worshiping yous. Then suddenly it hit him right out of the blue. I can't stop this holiday. I can't stop the season. If I can't stop Christmas, then I'll change the reason. For the dances they dance and the songs that they sing, I'll make them all worship some other thing. But what will they worship? Would it be enough? Can I change their worship from Jesus to stuff? I won't need one hocus pocus. I won't need anything in hocus pocus. I'll change their Christmas by changing their focus. Point number 1. Then off like a flash with his new obligations to make the youths pine for new Christmas sensations like presents and toys, all getting the glory. Enough of that feel-good virgin birth story. And the youths bought into it right down to the last child. And that's when you Christmases all got somewhat wild, with neighbors competing and spending their days building $5,000 Christmas displays. Oh, they started Thanksgiving ewes decking the halls with wreaths and with garlands and bright Christmas balls. Then they got to the best, the great Christmas tree, dressed in tinsel and lights and a grand potpourri of ornaments, with one job left just for Pop to put the gold plated star on the top. At last it's complete, and with eyes open wide, everyone makes a mad dash outside to set up a snowman and Santa's red sleigh, Dasher and Dancer, and a small bale of hay. Why the hay? Some of you may say. In dismay, this very day, to Nicholas Clay, Blaze Fumbe, our dear sister Renee, our warm brother Jay, and his amazing wife Alicia Because, hey. Just grasping there. I don't know. Why the hay? Well, for the manger that sits way off to the back, set far to the side so it won't distract from the grandeur that is automated reindeer. Will surely outdo the neighbors this year. The truth is really that nobody wins except SCE while the meter just spins. Then finally at night, the whole house in their beds, the kids dream of big toys in their sweet little heads. This won't work long, the Grinch said with a pout. They'll surely remember what Christmas is about. So how can I continue this wonderful charade? I don't want to lose the progress I've made. Let me break in, if I might be so bold. This is why you can't give the Grinch a foothold. Ephesians 4:27 clearly explains, if you don't let him in, he cannot make gains on your life, on your witness. Oh, he wants to prevail. But enough about that. Let's get on with our tale. So the Grinch kept grumbling, this won't be enough. Soon they'll realize there's more to this day than their stuff. But what next, he wondered. Please tell me, what? Then suddenly it hit him like a swift kick in the... That's it, he exclaimed. I'll make it so grand. I know what they'll worship on sea and on land. Then he jumped up and down, erasing his sorrow. The youths want a much brighter, better tomorrow. Their minds are transfixed on what's bigger and better, to the candy and lights and the best Christmas letter. Don't let this confound you. Don't let it confuse. Don't let it surprise. In John, Jesus calls him the father of lies. John 8:44, in case you were asking. Jesus tells us the Grinch is the master at masking all the truth and all the concealing of facts to lay a foundation for his devilish acts. So the Grinch began sowing his seeds of resentment, envy and spite, strife, discontentment. The damage this caused had gotten so serious, you adults and you children were almost delirious over what they would get and what Santa would bring, that the big day of Christmas was disappointing. And now the youth's focus was securely shifted, the facts about Jesus so sneakily lifted, and replaced with longing so unrealistic, so selfish, so vain, so materialistic. What's that you say? Not fooled at all? Not swayed by the marketers down at the mall? Don't go thinking that you've outfoxed the Grinch, that he hath not the power to budge you an inch. No, he's far from finished. Oh, he's light years from done. You see, shifting the focus was only plan one.
You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty home. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your phone, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
He did not hitch all his plans to one wagon. He's cunning and vile, this soul-stealing dragon. The Grinch that we speak of is right on the ball. He figured his scheme might just not fool all. So the Grinch took great pain to take into account a leftover portion, remaining amount of yous that aren't trapped, being self-centered. So he pondered how he might make them indentured servants and slaves to his Christmas ideals. So his mind started thinking and spinning its wheels. He furrowed his brow. He scratched his hair follicles and laughed as he hatched an idea diabolical. This evil concoction was sneakier than the first. This devilish Grinch had bedeviled his worst. A tremendous solution, he said, feeling giddy, spinning circles of joy as he o'erlooked the city. He had to sit down. He had gotten so dizzy. I'll steal their Christmas by making them busy. Point number 2. He cackled and cackled his insidious snicker and got right to work stealing Christmas, but quicker. I'll give each you a list of things they must do, from buying their gifts and to cleaning their shoes. Parties and concerts, family obligations will help me achieve this kind of inflation that their date books need. Then not one spare minute. Ha! Their Christmas won't even have a hint of Christ in it. So he went on his way and got down to penciling. Dad to hang lights and Mom to start stenciling all the new Christmas cards for the holiday mail. She'll try to be early, but to no avail. Each outing and party brought on more stress, but you still crave to do more, not less. They failed to take notice that life wasn't fun. There was no time to play in the park in the sun. The youth scheduled till their schedules were sore, and there was no quenching this youth thirst for more. It crept up on them. They didn't see it until now. It was impossible to say, my schedule won't allow it. They'd spend all their weekends heavy-duty shopping with marathon mall trips and door-to-door hopping, buying gifts for their wives and the kids' third-grade teacher, the neighbors, the mailman, and their favorite goofy preacher. But enough about Kirk Hamula. Chris Lastro. Enough about Joey Gregory. Enough about John Causey and his charming appeal. Our rival, the Grinch, is now sealing the deal. The Grinch had succeeded in emptying their pockets, and now he succeeded in filling their dockets with all manner of things, both pointless and healthy. The Grinch laughed as he muttered, "My, aren't I stealthy?" I don't care if the youths do a couple good deeds, time spent with friends and homeless food feeds. I care that they fill each day to the brim. They'll forget that this season is all about him. So the youths went out with their door-to-door knocking, door-to-door singing a verse of a carol, once carefully ringing the doorbells of friends as they traveled in herds, singing their songs but ignoring their words. It was as if this caroling job was a duty. Their only reward was some Yuletide booty. Booty. Free your minds from the gutter. What were you thinking? I meant cocoa for drinking and candy for eating. Let me jump in since you made this fiasco. I'll make it quite short because we need to get back. So, our Father in heaven created man's rest. He built our bodies so he knows what's best. He called it the Sabbath and told us to use it, to rest and to thank him, and not to abuse it by acting as if we know our own makeup. And taking a Sabbath would certainly break up our busy routine we hold so dear. We need to relax at this time of year. So, take your rest now and save yourself strife, or you'll lose it lump sum off the end of your life. I thought that might be worth just taking a look. But enough about that. Let's get back to the book.
You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you,
You're welcome, parents.
seasick crocodile.
They're all confused now. There's no way they'll know. It's time for Plan 3, Christmas's last fatal blow. This is their monster now. I helped them create it. I'll give them all so much of it, they'll hate it. Point number 3. And hate it they did in every way. As stores raised their prices and made people pay outrageous amounts if they wanted to get the coolest of toys, they go deep into debt. Then the traffic jams crammed the freeways, you see, the airport more crowded than the DMV, and the noise in the house made such a great din because it was filled with all of the next of kin. From the neighboring counties and cities and states, all these guests could make one irate. Mom was the one that often went first because she got the problems and was given the worst of the chores in the house, all the cooking and cleaning, the odds against her finding true Christmas meaning. And Dad was stressed at the credit card bills, yet still trying to go out and to the malls and to fill the base of the tree with the world record haul. Let's be honest, Dad's frankly climbing the walls. And the children just sat there, taking it in, mimicking behaviors but ignoring the sin inherent in their family's Yule attitude and showing a proficiency for being quite rude. Jimmy's getting a PlayStation 4, and if I don't get one, I'm going to pout on the floor for a long, long time, maybe till summer. Oh, this year's Christmas is going to be such a bummer. Don't go blaming the kids. You want to know why? They pattern their actions on how you and I handle each situation with which we are faced. If we choose to be worldly, then we have disgraced our offspring that God has placed in our care to model our worship, our giving, our prayer. With the Grinch implementing plans 1, 2, and 3, it was almost impossible for youths to now see the meaning of Christmas obscured from their view, and company coming, their house was a zoo with bathrooms to clean and cooking to do and gingerbread cookies and chocolate fondue and tense words spoken that were quite misconstrued and feeling like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh and library books that were long overdue and purchasing gifts without having a clue and smiling to say Merry Christmas on cue. And teaching their children to all tie their shoes, and kids sick in bed with a case of the flu, and matching the ribbon and paper by hue, and getting to church late and losing your pew, and a 10-mile-long line at the mall for the loo, and sending out cards but forgetting a few, and faking a grins because you're feeling so blue, and having to taste nasty postage stamp glue, and paying a fortune for buying it new, and there's no time for me and there's no time to you. All the yous cried in unison, what shall we do? All the yous cried in unison, what shall we do? All the yous cried in unison, what shall we do? Whew. If you long for an answer, just look for God's hand. He says, turn, seek my face, and I'll heal your land. You see, this whole Christmas season has gotten off kilter. You need to install a brand new Christmas filter through which every event and Christmas deed passes, like trying on a new pair of Jesus sunglasses. So, start with your schedule. Give it a tweak. Go home today and plan one night a week to be totally empty. What a revelation. A free night each week might just be the occasion to gather the troops and talk about Jesus and not let the Grinch's foul Christmas plan seize us and put us into a real holiday bind. When we spend our time wisely, we might actually find that we would like Christmas a whole lot more. And maybe, just maybe, it's not about lights, gifts, or toys, but a baby whose story's recorded right there in God's Word. It's in Matthew and Luke where his story is told. Perhaps your family should read it together and wonder in awe at God's Christmas love letter. Or ponder how those first worshipers felt as they sang and they gave, as they swaddled and knelt. Or what would it be like as an angel to sing of the earthly premiere of the heavenly King? Or were you a shepherd with sheep late at night, How would you respond if you saw angels bright? Or suppose you were wise. What's your motivation to travel so far on such poor transportation? What? Or what about Joseph and his young wife Mary? While inside her womb, they knew that she carried the answer, Messiah, God as a man. God's final answer, his Christmas plan. Thinking those thoughts should get your brain fluids rushing and might prompt a fabulous family discussion. Or maybe throughout all your Christmas card making, you make some for missionaries, diligently taking the gospel to Lagos, Manila, and China. Of all God's servants, there are none finer than those men and women who do as they taught, who go share the gospel where it is not taught. But whatever you do, give it up for the missionaries. Come on, missionaries. But whatever you do, think Christmassy thoughts. Remember the manger. When it's made the focus, the rest holds no danger. So I've racked my brain to come up with a way to help you make Christ part of Christmas each day. And whenever you can, think those Christmassy thoughts, how God up in heaven loved you a lot. Then that he sent his son Jesus to dwell here on earth, to deliver a message that shows you our worth. In God's eyes, we're priceless. You can't place an amount. His love for each one of us, it's too great to count, which is why he sent Jesus to earth for a while to die on a cross, that he might reconcile all of us to himself, the act of redeeming a great Christmas gift that should leave us all gleaning. See, Jesus' gift lasts more than a few days. He promises to stand by his own always. If we but accept his mercy and grace and search for his will by seeking his face. He makes a commitment to give us direction, to guard each our steps and give us protection. And those blessings don't cease. Our God, he's so clever. His presence at Christmas hold value forever. But it may be a fact that you've never made him your Lord, never patterned your life on the ways of his sword. Well, you're the reason that he sent Jesus down from above to show you his mercy, his grace, and his love. Jesus said it himself that regardless the cost, that he came to seek and to save. This holiday season can be your greatest time. Perhaps if you're lost, today you will find, as you turn your back on all worldly behavior and take Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. It's an outstanding offer he's here to extend to serve as your Savior, your Lord, and your friend. He's loved you from birth. To him, you're no stranger. He's gentle and kind, this Lord of the manger. He'll save you from sin. He'll save you from guilt and take you to heaven where he's already built you a mansion, your eternal reward. Don't reject him today. Make him your Lord. And wherever you go in the following weeks, don't let this vile Grinch make Christ's birthday bleak.
You nauseate me, Mr. Grinch. With a nauseous you're a crooked jockey, and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Grinch. You're a three-decker sauerkraut toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.
How you doing out there, folks? Wanting some chocolate? Remember to focus your Christmas attention on Christ and his birth. It will help the retention of godly ideals all of December And please don't stop there. Also try to remember to loosen your schedule this year just a bit and spend time with your family delighting in it. And if your marriage needs help and you're alone in the house, take all the time needed to mend with your spouse. And please bond together as all families must do, so especially when it's just you and your wife, Beepo. And spend time together reading the story of how God came to earth, sacrificing his glory. To rescue mankind, he counted it loss and gave himself up on Calvary's cross. For you see, therein lies the true Christmas meaning. The manger child came so God could start cleaning the sin from our lives, his grace to impart, which frees us and sees us with a new spotless heart. So as we come to a close, make it your Yuletide aim to make sure that Christmas is never the same. And lo and behold, I'm sure you'll see a Christmas that's more than you thought it would be. So live out your purpose, live out your plan, and don't let the Grinch steal your Christmas again. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, and God bless. Merry Christmas.